Psalms 45:1 says, "My tongue is a pen of a ready writer." This is why I'm taping my memoirs rather than writing them. I'm not much of a writer, but I do have the gift of gab, so I'm taping my memoirs. Today I want to tell you how I got from Alabama to Illinois. Ended up spending 35 years in Illinois. This southern boy went to Illinois, and all I could think of is God wanted this southern boy to go north and convert Yankees. And that's exactly what we ended up doing. Now, we converted a lot of Yankees and probably should have converted more, but it was a good ministry. Now, how that came about is we had just about finished our one-year internship when in March, middle of March, our former youth pastor, where Judy and I grew up in Louisiana, he called one day, Dick Martin, and he said, "Jim, aren't you about through?" And I said, "I'm about through." He says, "Well, our church in Plano, Illinois has started a small group, it's going to be a church." And he says, "They're about ready to call a pastor." And he says, "I wish you to pray about that." And I said, "Oh, Dick, we've made up our mind to go with Jack Wyrtzen at Spruce Lake and Word of Life." He said, "Well, pray about this." He says, "As a matter of fact, I'm bringing a number of kids to the youth conference at Southeastern in another week." And he says, "Why don't you ride back with us on Saturday night, and you can preach Sunday morning and Sunday night, and we'll fly you back Monday morning." Well, just the idea of a trip like that appealed to me. Man, I was ready to go. So we went up there, and I had a startling situation right off. I left Alabama, and the flowers are blooming, and it was nice weather, and I get to Illinois, and there's snow in the ditches. And I said, "Oh, no, this is not where I want to go to." But we had a good weekend and a good group of people. I preached Sunday morning. Sunday night, I gave my testimony. Monday morning, got on an airplane to fly back to Birmingham. And you know, God put a capstone on that trip. I was able to lead the man next to me in the plane to the Lord. And I thought, Lord, you're saying something with this. I got back, and Judy wanted to know about everything. And of course, I informed her that I'd met a good group of people, and seemed like maybe a good place to raise the family, where being on the road with Word of Life, they wanted me to travel for them, and that wasn't going to be the best thing for the family. So by the end of that week, we had kind of purpose in our heart that maybe that's where we should go. Well, we had to wait 10 days before we heard from the folks. And man, we were kind of on pins and needles, and I've always made a habit of reading a proverb a day. And on the 25th day of March, I'm reading Proverbs, and I read the 25th verse, and it said, "Like cool water is to a thirsty soul, so is a good word from a distant land." And I went into the kitchen and I said, "Judy, they're going to call us today." And within an hour, Pastor Martin called and said, "The church has extended you a call." And he says, "There's a couple of things, though, I want you to do." He says, "You got about 2.5 months. We want you here the first Sunday of June. But he says, we want you to go to Louisiana and finish your ordination first, and then come up." He said, "We'll send the last week of May a truck down and get your belongings." And I said, "Well, Dick, I want you to do one thing for me." And I said, "What?" He says, "The next time you have a prayer meeting, get everybody to fill out a card telling me who they are and a little bit about them and their prayer needs, and send them to me." Well, within another week, 10 days, he sent me 13 cards. And I want to tell you, by the time we got up there and we went to their prayer meeting, I knew everybody in that room. Because you see, what you commit to in prayer, God's going to reveal to you in reality. And that was real. I knew the people. I just had a feeling for them. Well, we got ready to go. And they came down, loaded our furniture and everything. And one of the couples in the church we were leaving bought my wife a ticket for her and the 2 kids. She had another one on the way coming, or 3 kids. And they bought her a ticket to Louisiana, and then from Louisiana to Illinois. Well, my son and I were going to drive from Birmingham to Louisiana. Well, Judy got ready to go to the airport, and she said, "Did the men bring you any travel money?" And I said, "No, they didn't." She said, "Well, how much money do you have?" And I said, "I've got a quarter." And she said, "Oh, no, honey, if God got us this far, he'll get us the rest of the way." And So she flew to Louisiana and got off the plane, and my mother said, "Everything okay? Everything good shape?" She said, "Yeah, Jim's got a quarter." And my mother said, "Oh, here he goes again." You know? And so faith has always been a strength. And so that happened. Well, a little while later, another couple in the church came up and said, "Are y'all leaving tonight?" And I said, here's what I said. I said, "No, I got a little more banking to do." I didn't tell her anything. I said, "Banking to do." She said, "Well, come over and spend the night, and I'll fix y'all a big lunch for the road, and you can have supper with us and spend the night." And I said, "Okay." So we went over to their house. We knew them real well. And as I was passing her from the bathroom to the bedroom, she stuck $20 in my robe pocket. She said, "You might need that on the road." Well, in those days, gasoline money went a long way. So it cost us $17. We had a big lunch, $17 to get to Louisiana. It was Sunday, so we went to church that night. My 3 kids are sitting in front of me, and I'd already taught them that when the offering plate comes by, put what you got in your pocket in the offering plate. Well, they looked around at me, and I had $3.25, so I gave each one $1. Church is over, and I got that quarter. Well, we spent all week there. We didn't need any money. Both families were there, and everything was taken care of, and so there was no need for that. Come Saturday morning, or Friday night, a fellow we grew up with in the church had finished his residency in surgery. And he called and said, "Jim, I know you're leaving right away, but I got to have supper with y'all." And I said, "All right." So we arranged them Saturday night to go out to supper. We went to my favorite place, which was Don's Seafood. And I had crawfish 7 different ways. Because I knew in Yankee land, they didn't even know how to spell crawfish. And I was going to have it. I had crawfish pie, crawfish etouffee, crawfish every way you can think of it. Man, that was a good meal. And Joel, after the meal, Joel Johnson, he said, "Jim," he said, "I told the Lord that my first surgery, or assisting in surgery, I would give my fee unto the Lord." And he says, "The Lord's laid it on my heart to give this to you," and he handed me a check. The check was enough for my son and I to drive all the way to Illinois, covered all of our meals. We even stayed at Holiday Inn so my son could swim in the swimming pool. I mean, it was a first-class travel. We get up there and we go to the house that they had rented for us. It was a nice house right on Main Street. We looked over the house. And then we drove to the airport to pick up my family. When we got there, we picked them up, and my wife says, "Well, we're going to have to go by the grocery store and get some things for the house." And I said, "Honey, I don't know if we can do that." She said, "Why?" I said, "All I've got is a quarter." So I'm still back to that 1 quarter. And she said, "Oh, no." Well, we got to the house, and the church folks had done what church folks used to do. And that while we were at the airport, they did a pounding. Now, it used to be a pounding for your pastor and youth pastor, is you'd go in with a pound of sugar, a pound of flour, a pound of salt, a pound of this and a pound of that, and they had filled our pantry and filled our refrigerator, so when we walked in, there was nothing we needed. That was the beginning of a wonderful ministry in Sugar Grove, a ministry that took off, a ministry that allowed us to experience God's special care for us. Now, I'm going to stop here for a minute, and I'm going to tell you that next time we get together, I'm going to be very, very transparent. I've always been told I'm transparent as glass, and I'll tell you the good and bad of everything that's gone on in my life. And next week, I'm going to tell you of the 5 churches I've pastored, and how I left the Lord, and how severely He chastened me. And I'm going to tell you about that next week. Now, this is Jim Harper. Remember, a tongue is the pen